Welcome everybody, I'm Nine from Nine's Corner, and today we are going to look at the High Priestess, one of my favorite cards in the whole tarot deck. Now, of course, the High Priestess is often considered or known as a psychic, and I love in this particular deck, you can see she's actually a psychic, and she has her tarot cards, and I believe that must be runes. And she has a crystal ball, which I happen to be gifted for Christmas, and I'm really looking forward to learning to work with it. I've done some work with it, but it's going to take a long time, but excited. So, one of the best ways to learn about the High Priestess, or the story that I enjoy the most, because there's all kinds of interpretations, but the one that I enjoy the most is the story of the female pope, also known as Pope Joan. The story has it that Joan disguised herself as a man because she wanted to become pope. She was actually voted in to be the pope, and it was only discovered that she was a woman when she found herself pregnant. Now, I love that story because the High Priestess is all about secrets. And what kind of great secret could that be, having a bambino inside of your belly? So not an interpretation that most people will have, because the High Priestess is very much a woman who doesn't need anybody. And we'll get into that further. But just sometimes I've had readings, like really personal readings with people, where the High Priestess was in their past. And I've said, were you adopted, or did you have a baby or a miscarriage or something of that nature? And it would actually show up. So that's not a normal meaning for the card, but it's just one of those, it showed up for me, and it's one of the meanings I use, so I'm sharing it with you. The High Priestess wears a crown of moons, and this is referred to as the Pope's tiara. And this reflects and is linked to the cycles of the moon. So the new moon would be the Virgin. The full moon would be a woman coming into her fertility and being an adult woman. And the waning moon would be a time of wisdom and age. Astrologically, the moon refers to the mother feminine energy and the feeling of femininity. When the High Priestess appears, she's telling you to not look at what is, but look at what isn't, or what's unseen. Using your gut feeling or your sixth sense, your intuition. Sometimes something is hidden or secret there. It will be revealed eventually. The High Priestess is a 2. 2 is also always like a partial success. It's always a case of you'll have part of it figured out, but the rest of it, or for it to come to conclusion, you'll have to wait. And the High Priestess is all about waiting, having patience for the right time. So, and it's also about when you're working on yourself, when you're working on your spiritual journey, it can take a long time for you to accept things for being different. And as we grow, we have to accept and change based on our experiences or by that inner knowing. And that's not the easiest things. I mean, sometimes it can take years to kind of accept it. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to that inner voice. When the High Priestess is there, it's all about the Fool has met the magician. He knows he has all the tools to be able to do something. But the High Priestess is that inner knowing, that spirit of being able to focus and get what you want, to manifest it. I mean, we've all met talented people that can sing or can draw, but not everybody achieves it because they don't have that inner focus, that High Priestess. The High Priestess is all about being patient, allowing time to let things be. Listen to your intuition when making a decision. You already know the answer. Sit in the stillness and listen to your inner voice. Go with that. Doesn't matter if reason or facts are going against your intuition. Your intuition will guide you to the right place, answer, experience. This is the universe's way of helping guide you. The High Priestess wants you to have complete focus on what you want in life. Look at any patterns of self-sabotage that you may have in the past, recognize it, and change it. This is when you take your life experiences and grow based on your ability to understand and accept them. This is on an inner level, on a spiritual level. We all grow and change our opinions throughout our lives. But through the High Priestess, by listening to your inner self, you will grow to be more enlightened and to be a stronger force. In a reading, the High Priestess is saying, develop your intuition. Sometimes this could be tarot cards or ruins, or it could just be meditating, or just, taking notice when you have a feeling about something. It's it could be as easy as just listening to yourself, because we don't often do it. Patience is needed for any situation to be able to hit the right time, timing being everything. So the High Priestess might say, listen, things are going to come to fruition. You just need to have patience. As a person, this could be a woman. Chances are she could be divorced, widowed, separated. This could be a woman who's really strong and independent. So she needs a really strong, independent man to support her. She'll oftentimes have really strong female relations. Oftentimes, if I find the High Priestess, that will be my indication that somebody's a lesbian or bisexual. Or this could also be a woman in a position of power where men actually may be fearful of her because she just knows who she is. So whether you be a man or a woman, if you want to have a relationship with the High Priestess, a true High Priestess, you have to know yourself and be strong in your own self. Career-wise, you may be looking to see what's on the horizon, but it's not a time to act. This is really a time to kind of wait and see, because whatever the situation is, be it in career, work, money, relationships, you don't know all the facts yet. So give it time for things to reveal themselves. When it comes to money, we're going to be waiting a little bit, but it will come and it will be successful to the point where you might actually get a few little surprises or bonuses. The High Priestess is all about manifesting, and manifesting even more than you thought possible. Physically, you may have a strong dream world, or you may be bugged by your dream world, or you may have issues with sleeping. But any health issues you may be having, if the High Priestess comes up, that means you're going to have a swift recovery. The High Priestess says, quiet yourself, keep secrets, pause and reflect on what you know to be true. You are of value. Your thoughts are more valuable than gold. Meditate on them to understand their significance and the role they play in your life. The High Priestess, gives the Fool that spiritual guidance, that inner knowing, that inner ability to actually manifest. High Priestess is all about creating a space for yourself inwardly and outside, so that you can manifest the world, the situation, what you want, because you know deep down what you truly need, desire, and deserve. You are of value. You are perfect just the way you are. In a reading, for the past position, you used your intuition to make a decision, and you were correct. If you went against your intuition, things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. In the present, it's time to stop all the noise of your world. People, places, things, work, everything. Quiet down. It's time to turn inward. When looking at any situation or person, there's more to the situation or person than meets the eye. Give it time to find out. And in the future, the High Priestess says something in the future will need your attention. Whatever it is, don't take it for face value, because again, there's things about the situation or person that have not been revealed to you yet. Trust yourself, your intuition, before any facts of any situation. When it comes to advice, the best advice when the High Priestess shows up is to visualize what you want for the outcome. Know and act as if it's already there and you will accomplish it. As an outcome, the High Priestess says, listen to your intuition. If you need help, help will be there. Be patient, things will work out. Maybe not as you thought. There may be a couple of surprises in the mix, but it will work out for your higher purpose and your higher good. If when you flip over your High Priestess card, the first thing you notice is the two columns here, black and white. Beelzebub, the devil, Yahweh being God. These are the polar opposites. So this could be a situation you're dealing with that are two polar opposites, and you need to look at what is real for you. If you notice the curtain in the back, well, this sort of has two meanings for me. If the first thing I notice is just the curtain, I'll think, okay, well, there's the you who you portray out there to the world, and then there's the inner you. Is there a secret that you're keeping? If I notice the actual palm trees and the pomegranate, then this could be something to do with your sexuality, because it's behind the High Priestess. So if you see here, you'll see the cross. If the first thing I notice is the cross, then I know that you're dealing with your spirituality, that you're dealing with, you might be dealing with your religion or how you feel about yourself. This could be, when you notice the cross, this could be, not just your religious background, or this could be an accumulation of all the experiences that have created your value system. So if I notice the cross, I will think to myself either a religious connotation, or maybe there's a value system issue happening here. If you notice the flowing of the skirt, I always think of this as like the emotion, the moon, because of course she has her crown with the moon phases, the new moon, the waning moon, and the full moon being the phases of the woman. Now, I do know that if you notice right here, this can be the sign of the Taurus. I don't really like giving cards a lot of astrological signs when I'm doing readings, because I think we all can take on the different interpretations, whether they be male or female, or that of anything astrologically. The only thing I love when it comes to tarot cards is if I'm reading on signs, I will look for the card that represents that sign. Now, of course, when it comes to people, I find this one a tricky one. I don't generally put a person to the High Priestess, because I think the High Priestess is reflected in each one of us. If we put a mirror up, each one of us will see the High Priestess in us, whether we listen to our intuition or we don't. Because, yourself, you've been places where you thought, I just want to go home, and something happens after you leave. Or sometimes you'll be thinking about somebody and you haven't heard tell of them for 20 years, and the next thing, within a week, you're meeting up with them. It's like somehow you intuitively thought of them and they appeared. You manifested them. That's the High Priestess. I just love her. So I do have a couple of songs that remind me of the High Priestess. The first one being Stevie Nicks. Well, I guess it was actually Fleetwood Mac who sang Rihanna. Great song. But Stevie Nicks, because of the way she dresses and stuff, she always kind of reminds me of the High Priestess, and all the garb she wears. And there's a song, Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves, with Aretha Franklin and Annie Lennox. Fantastic song. I love it. So those two always remind me of the High Priestess. And when it comes to the High Priestess, she really reminds you about the power that we all hold. We all have that strength, that power within us. And oftentimes we give our power to somebody else. We let them think for us. We let them take our power as if we don't have the same as them. So the High Priestess is certainly reminding you about your power. And here is where I'd like to introduce maybe the idea of having your angels, or learning your angels' names, or how we come about that. Because, I get it that it's a good parlor trick for people to say, oh, XYZ. But I was lucky enough that I live in Alberta. We have a large native community here, and I was lucky enough that I had some native women who made friends with me, and I had nobody to share my experiences with tarot and all the questions I had. And they answered everything from learning how to sage to learning about your guides, your spirit guides. And it really resonated with me because, when we look at the power, we don't give our power to somebody else. We find that power within ourselves. So I was told, you don't need somebody to tell you who your angels are. You can find them for yourselves. Now, one of the ways, or the way that was told to me was to meditate. Now, I know there's going to be people saying, I don't even know how to meditate. Meditate doesn't have to be like all, it could be as simple as sitting down, relaxing, very calm situation, and let yourself think thoughts, think about your childhood, think about, let your mind just kind of wander and have thoughts and experiences. And sometimes you may remember somebody who was a really good friend to the family, who really made you feel secure, and their name was George, and George is your angel's name. Or it could be that you're always followed by numbers like 1111 or 1212 or something of that nature. And when that happens, especially for 1111, because that's sort of the universe knocking on your shoulder saying, hey, there's something for you to notice here, then whoever you're thinking about at that time, maybe it's a song, maybe it's a person, then that could be the name of your angel. Because your angels are energy forms that support you, that help you along, that give you that inner knowing, that inner feeling of there's something more to this situation. And because we are humans, when we look at clouds, we have to shape them as trucks or as ourselves, like we're just that way inclined. So we need to give angels names and things of that nature. So allow it to be something personal for yourself. Allow it to be something that means something to you. It could be remembering a doll's name from when you were a baby, or, there's a multitude of ways. And just to get personal, I had shared with the ladies all about the number 1111 just always showing up. And they said, the next time you see 1111, take notice to whatever you're thinking about. And I was literally in the kitchen dancing away, doing dishes. I looked up at the clock, it said 11:11, and I was singing a Tina Turner song at the time. And her real name, her Tina Turner is her stage name that was given to her, but her real name is Annie Mae Bullock. And so in that moment, I excitedly went back to my friends and said, oh my God, my spirit angel's name is Annie Mae, because I went through the whole, I met 11:11 and Tina was singing it. And they were all like, yes, darling, that's exciting. But it means something to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And a second one that I don't really use it as much as I use my Annie Mae. Annie Mae is sort of the one that I call to. But there's the 7 angels that represent the Monday through Sunday. I'll list them right here for you. If you're like myself and you were born on Thursday, well then I would use Sellafiel. Now, I may be butchering that name, but that's how I say it. And she is known as the angel of prayer, the communicator with God. She's also known as the interpreter of dreams, the protector of children, the helper of those getting over addictions. And my favorite, they are in charge of the music in heaven. So I just thought, yes, that's my guardian angel. That's my guiding angel, my spirit, my energy, my protection. Whatever name you want to give to it, that's my 2 little personal stories. And I don't know if I have 100. I always just know I feel supported. And I remember reading years and years ago, I can't remember, I wish I could, I should have looked up something, but I remember reading in one of the in one of the stories about we have two angels, one in front of us and one behind us. So that's why I always stuck with the two angels. And I always think of Annie Mae as in front of me because she's sort of like the one that's modern, the one that I know through song. And I always think of Sellafiel behind me being the archangel type, like something that's tied to my religion. So, you can find whatever has meaning to you, but let it have meaning to you. Let you find it for yourself, empower yourself, because the High Priestess is one of the strongest characters in the tarot deck because she has strength of character. She has the knowledge and the know-how of saying, listen, no matter what you tell me, I know there's more to it because she has the connection with God. So do not let anybody take your connection from you. Form it for yourself. You can do it. So the next time we speak, we'll learn all about the Emperor and the Empress. We know about them already because we all come from mother and fathers. And if you want, I love watching Finding Your Roots and those type of stories, because if you want to know about who represents you as a mother and a father, go find your roots and you'll know what you're about. So that's my reading for the High Priestess. And as always, I have our unity candle lit for each and every one of us. Until our next episode, cheerio, take care.